Why do so many people pretend to be confident yet fall apart the moment they're challenged? Why do we admire those who speak less but command more? Today they say confidence speaks loudly, but they are wrong. Those who shout their confidence, in truth, do so to silence doubt not in others, but in themselves. The noise is not a declaration of power, it is a confession of its absence. Watch a man who enters a room and needs everyone to notice him. He adjusts his posture too often. His words are calculated not for truth, but for approval. He seeks eye contact not to dominate, but to be seen. This is not confidence. It is desperation in disguise. True confidence, the kind that reshapes rooms and rattles weaker minds, is quiet. It moves like a shadow, not needing light. It does not declare its presence, because its presence is felt, not announced. Ask yourself, who do you fear more, the man who argues loudly or the one who listens without flinching? The confident understand a law older than kingdoms. What is loud often breaks. What is silent endures. In silence there is strength. In restraint there is strategy. You see, the insecure must perform. Their energy is spent on appearances, on crafting an image. They cannot stop talking because silence reveals their inner chaos. They rush to fill the air, terrified of the moment they might be truly seen. But the truly confident are unbothered by perception. They have no need to act strong, they are strong. They do not perform for the crowd. The crowd performs for them. They are like the lion that does not roar in the jungle. It does not need to. The scent of its presence already dominates the atmosphere. Even unseen, it is obeyed. Now observe a master negotiator or a true leader, not a politician, not a performer but a strategist. He speaks less, but when he does, every word lands like a blade, because silence sharpens speech. It makes it rare. Rare things are powerful. People lean in to listen, not because of what he says, but because he doesn't speak without purpose. When you speak constantly, your words lose value. When you speak with control, your words become currency. The confident understand this, that scarcity creates demand, even in conversation. But there is more. Confidence, real, cultivated, disciplined confidence, does not explain itself. It does not defend itself. It does not need to. Explanation is often just insecurity wearing a polite face. The moment you begin to explain who you are, why you are, what you meant, you are already conceding your power. Let the others explain. Let them ramble, defend, overtalk. The confident wait. They observe, and they win not by overwhelming others, but by letting others overwhelm themselves. This is not arrogance. This is architecture. It is designed restraint, a conscious choice to place value on energy, time, and presence. The confident know this. If you spend your life trying to be seen, you will never see clearly. But if you are still, the world reveals itself to you. And here lies the paradox. The ones who do the least to be noticed are the ones who are remembered the most. Why? Because they understand something primitive yet eternal, that the mind naturally fills the void. In your silence, others will project strength, mystery, danger, wisdom, or all four. Their imagination will serve you more effectively than your words ever could. Power is perception. And confidence is the ability to control that perception, not by force, not by demand, but by deliberate restraint. You do not need to dominate the conversation. You need only to master your presence within it. The insecure confuse noise with influence. The confident understand that real influence comes from what is withheld, not just what is given. A general who speaks of every plan exposes himself to every threat. A ruler who brags of every victory invites envy, but a man who says little leaves room only for fear or awe. And so, the lesson is ancient, yet forgotten in the age of noise. True confidence is not in showing yourself to the world. It is in knowing you don't have to. A man's reaction is the loudest confession of his weakness. Strike a fool, and he will flail wildly. Insult him, and he will burn with the need to reply. Challenge him, and he will rush to prove himself, not to win, but to escape the discomfort of being questioned. But the truly powerful, the truly confident, do not react. They respond. There is a difference vast enough to decide whether you are ruled or ruling. The world will test you. It will insult you, lie about you, provoke you, not because it wants your failure, but because it wants your reaction. Reactions are easy. Reactions are raw. They are the parts of you that still belong to others. The man who reacts instantly is the man who is owned by his emotions, by his enemies, by his impulses. He is predictable, and in the language of power, predictability is weakness, because what can be predicted can be controlled. When you lose control of your reactions, you hand your enemies the keys to your kingdom. They no longer need to destroy you, you will do it yourself, out of rage, out of pride, out of wounded ego. And all they had to do was provoke a reaction, but consider the opposite. A man is insulted publicly. He does not defend himself. He does not retaliate. He does not raise his voice or sharpen his words. Instead, he listens, he watches, he waits, and in that stillness, something terrifying happens. The attacker reveals himself. The crowd watches not the insult, but the man who remained unmoved by it. And slowly, the power shifts, not through force, through restraint. The truly confident man is not calm because he feels nothing. He is calm because he controls everything, especially that which tries to control him. Control is not the absence of emotion. It is the mastery of it. Anger may rise, pain may strike, but neither is allowed to rule. The confident have trained themselves to recognize the pull of reaction and deny it. That denial, that pause, is where power begins, because in that pause, you are no longer a puppet of the moment. You become its author. Now listen closely, because this is where most people fail. They believe that to respond with calm is to appear weak, that to stay composed is to submit. This belief is born from ego, not from strategy, and the confident have no loyalty to ego. They are loyal only to advantage. Let others flail in public. Let them make their emotions visible, their strategies obvious. You, the one who controls his reaction, become the question no one can answer. You become the silence that unsettles the entire room. And there is nothing more dangerous than a man who can be insulted and still choose his timing, who can be threatened and still decide his moment. This is not submission. This is dominance in its most elegant form. In war, in politics, in personal life, the one who controls the tempo controls the outcome. Most people move too fast. They are ruled by the speed of emotion, but confidence is slow. It is deliberate. It waits, it observes, and when it strikes, it is not out of rage. It is out of design. You see, your reaction is currency. Spend it wisely. If you give it to everyone, you are bankrupt by midday. But if you keep it, if you guard it, people begin to notice. They begin to wonder what you're thinking, what you're planning, what you're truly capable of. Their imagination becomes your soldier, because there is power in mystery. And mystery is born when you stop giving people everything they want from you, especially your reaction. So next time someone offends you, pause. When someone lies about you, observe. When someone tries to draw your emotion, withhold it. Because the moment you react, especially without calculation, you have given away something you may never get back. Control. Control over the room, control over perception, control over yourself, and that, in the end, is what separates those who pretend to be powerful from those who truly are. Every man, whether he admits it or not, is chasing one thing: to be seen, to be recognized, to be told he matters. This need for validation is the invisible leash by which most are controlled. He wakes up hoping the world approves of him. He speaks, not to express truth, but to win applause. He creates, not out of purpose, but out of a desperate desire to be praised. His entire identity is a mirror reflecting back only what others wish to see. But the truly confident, the truly dangerous, are different. They are detached, detached from approval, detached from praise, detached even from the venom of criticism, because both applause and insult are built on the same structure: dependence on the opinions of others. And dependence in any form is vulnerability. A man who needs praise to feel powerful will always be a slave to those who can withhold it. He rises when they applaud, he falls when they disapprove. His power is not internal, it is rented. And what is rented can always be taken back. But imagine this: a man who speaks and does not care who claps, a man who succeeds and does not wait for congratulations, a man who is attacked and does not flinch because his sense of worth is not borrowed from others but built within himself. That man cannot be manipulated, he cannot be controlled, he cannot be baited or broken, because praise does not seduce him, and criticism does not disturb him. Detachment is not coldness, it is not arrogance. It is discipline, a decision to own yourself fully so that no one else ever can. Most people live in constant performance. Their words, their clothes, their choices all crafted for a silent audience they fear losing. But in doing so, they lose themselves. Because when you live for their applause, you die when it stops. The confident man understands this game. He has played it and then walked away from it. He does not need to be told he is enough. He has decided that already. He does not crave compliments, they do not move him. And insults, they are just echoes, noise, smoke trying to choke a stone. This detachment creates a paradox. The less he needs validation, the more people feel drawn to validate him. The one who seeks no attention often receives the most, because people sense something rare, someone who is not starving for them, someone who stands tall whether he is seen or unseen. It is unsettling to the insecure. They cannot understand it. They believe power comes from being liked, from being followed, from being agreed with. But the confident man has no hunger for agreement. He does not need the crowd to echo his thoughts. He needs only the truth, even if it isolates him, and that, precisely, is why he is powerful. When you are detached from validation, your decisions become clear. You are no longer negotiating your truth with the world. You no longer shrink your voice to avoid offense or inflate it to gain favor. You say what must be said. You do what must be done, because you are not acting for applause, you are acting for purpose. This makes you dangerous. You cannot be flattered. You cannot be guilted. You cannot be bribed by attention. While others compromise to be liked, you remain unmoved. And the world, so used to puppets, does not know how to handle someone it cannot pull with strings. Even your enemies grow cautious, because the man who does not care to be praised is often the one who cannot be stopped. Detach from their praise, let it come or not, it changes nothing. Detach from their criticism. Let them judge, they are revealing more about themselves than they ever will about you. Detach from the game of approval, not because you are above them, but because you are free to speak without fear. To act without disguise, to stand alone and still feel complete. The crowd will never understand this kind of confidence, but they will feel it, and once they do, they will never forget it. Words are weapons, but the first man to draw often bleeds first. Most people cannot bear silence. It threatens them, it exposes them. In the quiet, they feel naked, compelled to speak, to fill the void with opinions, explanations, emotions. And in doing so, they give away everything, their fears, their desires, their weaknesses. But the truly confident man waits. He does not rush to speak. He does not reveal. He does not perform. Instead, he watches patiently, precisely as others unravel themselves, trying desperately to prove something he never asked for. This is not passivity. It is psychological warfare, because silence is not emptiness. Silence is strategy, and the one who listens first rules later. Observe a room. Within minutes, you will find men eager to dominate the conversation. They interrupt, they correct, they overshare, not because they are wise, but because they are insecure. They believe the loudest man controls the space, but the wise know better. The loud man gives everything away. He shows his hand before the cards are dealt. He reveals his ambition, his alliances, his ignorance, all in the name of looking strong. But the one who speaks last, the one who listens, while others exhaust themselves, gathers information. He sees how the pieces move before he chooses where to stand. He learns where the cracks are, where the power sits, where the lies begin. And when he finally speaks, it is decisive. You see, people reveal far more than they intend to, not through confessions, but through casual statements, emotional reactions, nervous explanations. The need to be heard is a weakness most never learn to control. And the confident man exploits it. He walks into a conversation without the need to be understood. He is not there to convince, he is there to read. While others try to impress him, he remains unshaken. While others try to be liked, he remains unmoved. While they speak, he calculates. And that is what terrifies people most, not the man who talks endlessly, but the one who listens and says almost nothing. Because what is not said is feared, what is not explained becomes mysterious, what is not revealed becomes powerful. This is why the confident are often seen as intimidating, not because they say too much, but because they don't say what others expect. They do not feed your hunger for validation, for approval, for confirmation. They let you speak. They let you expose yourself. They let you wonder. In politics, in negotiation, in strategy, he who speaks first loses leverage. Because the first to speak often must reveal their terms, their position, their need. The one who waits can pivot, can feign ignorance, can redirect the conversation with surgical precision, but only if he listens first. This discipline to remain silent until the right moment is not natural. It must be trained. It goes against the ego. It goes against the social instinct to fill silence, to appear intelligent, to be liked. But every time you hold back your voice, every time you choose to observe instead of react, you sharpen your influence. There is an old principle of power: never reveal your full hand. The man who speaks first often does just that. He reveals too much, and once it's revealed, it can be used against him, mocked, resisted, countered, but silence gives nothing. It grants no target, no pattern, no vulnerability. It keeps you dangerous not because you are feared, but because you are unknown. And what is unknown is respected. The confident man can sit in silence for 10 minutes and never flinch. He can endure awkwardness without folding. He can stare across the table while others sweat, joke, ramble, all in the hopes of making him speak. But he does not until he chooses, and when he does, the room goes silent, not because of what he says, but because everyone realizes he was never unsure, only waiting. This is control. This is how influence begins, not with volume, but with patience. Not by being the first to speak, but by becoming the one everyone else wants to hear. Now you understand. Confidence, real confidence, is not found in noise, performance, or applause. It is not the man who speaks loudest, reacts quickest, or begs to be seen. That is theater, that is weakness dressed in costume. The truly confident move in silence. They hold their power inward. They do not react, they respond. They are not fed by praise, nor starved by criticism. They listen while others reveal. They wait while others waste. And when they move, they do so with precision. This kind of confidence cannot be borrowed. It must be built through discipline, through discomfort, through the rejection of needing to be seen. Because once you no longer need the world's permission, you become untouchable. Remember this: the loud chase approval, the weak chase reaction, but the powerful let the world speak first while they prepare to reshape it in silence, with certainty, and without ever asking for validation. That is how true confidence wins every time. We reveal the most powerful trait the truly confident possess, and why mastering it separates the rulers from the ruled.